Prepare yourself. Abundance is trying to reach you, even now, even in ways you cannot yet see. Take a breath with me, my dear. A slow, gentle breath in and a soft release out. Just for a moment, allow everything to pause. The noise, the questions, the quiet worries you carry in your chest, let them rest here with me. I want to speak to you softly today, not as someone above you, not as someone distant, but as someone who understands what it feels like to wait, to wonder, to look at your life and quietly ask, when will it finally be my turn? You've been trying, haven't you? In your own way, in your own time. You've been holding on, even when it felt like nothing was moving, even when it seemed like life was passing you by, as if abundance had chosen everyone else but you. And I want you to know something very gently, very clearly. Nothing has skipped you. Nothing has forgotten you. Nothing has passed you by. Take another breath. What if, just for a moment, you allowed yourself to consider a different possibility? What if the reason things have not unfolded the way you expected is not because you are blocked or unlucky or unworthy, but because something is being prepared for you and within you? You see, my dear, abundance is not something that arrives randomly. It does not fall into the hands of the person who chases the hardest or worries the most. It flows quietly, naturally, toward the one who is ready to receive it. And readiness is not about effort. It is about alignment. Let me ask you something gently. If everything you have been asking for suddenly appeared in your life today, would you feel calm, open, and ready to receive it? Or would there be a small tightening in your chest, a quiet voice whispering, "This is too much. This won't last. I don't know how to hold this"? Just notice, no judgment, just awareness. Because sometimes what looks like delay is actually protection. Sometimes what feels like silence is actually preparation. Imagine a seed, sweetheart, placed deep into the soil. From the outside, nothing seems to be happening. Days pass, weeks pass, and still no visible change. If the seed could think, it might believe it has been forgotten. It might believe it has failed. But beneath the surface, something profound is unfolding. Roots are forming, strength is building. The foundation is being created to support what is about to grow. And if that seed were forced to sprout too early, before its roots were ready, it would not survive the weight of its own expansion. Do you see? This is not delay. This is preparation. And you, my dear, are not stuck. You are growing in ways that are not yet visible. Take a breath with me again. You have been taught, perhaps, to measure your life by what you can see, by results, by timelines, by comparisons. But abundance, real, lasting, flowing abundance, does not respond to pressure. It responds to your state of being. It responds to the quiet energy you carry within you when no one is watching. And I want you to begin noticing something. When you think about the life you desire, do you feel ease or do you feel tension? Do you feel trust or urgency? Do you feel openness or fear? Because abundance cannot fully enter a space that is clenched. It cannot settle into a heart that is bracing for loss. And this is not your fault. No, my dear, not at all. You were taught to brace. You were taught to expect disappointment. You were taught to protect yourself from receiving too much, just in case it disappears. So of course your system hesitates. Of course there is a part of you that holds back, even while another part of you is reaching forward. And this is where the shift begins, not outside of you, but within you. I don't want you to ask, when is abundance coming? Instead, gently, softly, I want you to begin asking, am I allowing myself to receive? Just sit with that for a moment, because receiving is a state. It is not about effort. It is not about chasing. It is not about proving your worth. It is about openness. It is about safety. It is about quietly saying to life, I am ready to hold what is meant for me. And readiness feels like calm, not urgency, not desperation. Calm. Take another breath. I want you to imagine something very softly now. Imagine that abundance is not far away, not hidden, not delayed. Imagine it is already moving toward you, gently, steadily, like a tide coming in. But instead of rushing, it waits, it watches, it responds to you. If you tense, it pauses. If you doubt, it slows. If you open, even just a little, it moves closer. Can you feel that? This is not something you need to force. This is something you allow. And I know there have been moments where you felt like giving up. Moments where you wondered if any of this is real, if anything is actually changing. But let me remind you, my dear, change does not always announce itself loudly. Sometimes it whispers. Sometimes it rearranges things quietly, behind the scenes, in ways you cannot yet recognize. Doors you haven't seen are being aligned. Connections you haven't made are being prepared. Versions of you, stronger, calmer, more open, are being formed right now. And this version of you is the one abundance is moving toward. Not the you who is exhausted from chasing. Not the you who doubts your worth. But the you who is learning, slowly, gently, to feel safe with more. Take a breath. You don't have to become someone completely different. You don't have to fix everything. You don't have to rush. You only need to soften just a little, to loosen the grip just a little, to trust even when you cannot see the full picture. Because here is something very important I want you to understand. Abundance is not just money or opportunities or external success. Abundance is a frequency. It is a feeling of enoughness, of openness, of quiet confidence that life is supporting you. And when you begin to feel this, even in small moments, you become a space where more can land. So let's begin here, very gently. Right now, in this moment, notice something in your life that already feels like a small form of abundance. It could be your breath. It could be a moment of quiet. It could be the fact that you are here, listening, open to something new. Just notice it. And instead of brushing it aside, let yourself feel it. Let yourself sit with it for just a few seconds longer than usual. Because this is how you begin to open, not by forcing big changes, but by allowing small moments of receiving. And as you do this, something begins to shift. Your body relaxes, your mind softens, your energy becomes less guarded, and slowly, very slowly, you begin to feel safe with more. Take a breath. You are not behind. You are not late. You are not missing anything. You are in the process of becoming someone who can receive what you have been asking for without fear, without resistance, without self-sabotage. And that takes a kind of quiet courage most people never develop. So be gentle with yourself. Be patient with yourself. You are not waiting for abundance. Abundance is preparing to meet you where you are becoming ready. And my dear, you are closer than you think. And as you stay here with me, breathing softly, allowing your shoulders to drop just a little, I want to take you deeper into something that may change the way you see your entire life. Because, my dear, abundance is not simply trying to reach your circumstances. It is trying to reach you. Not the version of you that is rushing, not the version of you that is trying to prove something, but the quiet, steady version of you that is learning how to feel safe being supported. Take a breath. Let me ask you something gently, something you may have never truly asked yourself before. Who are you when you are not waiting? Who are you when you are not measuring your life by what hasn't happened yet? Just feel into that question. Don't rush to answer it. Just notice what comes up. Because so much of your energy has been tied to when things will change. When will things get better? When will I finally receive what I've been asking for? When will life open up for me? And in that constant waiting, something very subtle happens. You begin to live in a state of not yet. A quiet feeling that says, it's not here, it's not here, it's not here. And that feeling, my dear, becomes your environment. It becomes the emotional atmosphere your life responds to. Not because you are doing anything wrong, but because your nervous system has been conditioned to expect delay, to anticipate absence, to prepare for disappointment. So even when something begins to move toward you, even when life starts opening doors, there can be a quiet resistance, an unconscious hesitation, a feeling of, this feels unfamiliar. I don't know if I can trust this. Take a breath with me. This is where the real shift begins. Not in forcing abundance to come faster, but in becoming someone who no longer lives in waiting. Because the moment you step out of waiting, you step into receiving. And receiving is not loud. It is not dramatic. It is soft, steady, grounded. It feels like this quiet inner knowing. I am available for good things without chasing them. Can you feel the difference? Waiting feels tense. Receiving feels open. Waiting feels like holding your breath. Receiving feels like exhaling. So let's gently begin to move you into that space. Not all at once, not forcefully, but slowly, lovingly. I want you to imagine something again. Imagine your life is like a home, an abundance. Everything you've been asking for is trying to enter. But if the door is slightly closed, if there is tension in the frame, if there is hesitation in the opening, it cannot fully come in. Not because it isn't there, but because there isn't enough space for it to settle. Now here is the gentle truth, sweetheart. That door is your emotional state. It is how safe you feel with receiving more. It is how open you are to life supporting you without struggle. And I know you've been strong for so long. You've learned to rely on yourself. You've learned to expect very little so you won't be disappointed. You've learned to hold everything together, even when you felt empty inside. So, of course, opening that door feels unfamiliar. Of course, trusting that something good can stay feels uncertain. But this is exactly what you are learning now. You are learning how to hold abundance, not just attract it. Take a breath, because attracting something is easy. Holding it, allowing it, sustaining it, that requires a different kind of inner stability. And this is what life has been quietly building within you. All those moments where things didn't work out, all those times where you had to sit with discomfort, all those seasons where you felt like nothing was happening, they were not empty. They were strengthening your capacity. They were teaching your system how to remain steady even when things shift, so that when abundance arrives, you don't panic. You don't push it away. You don't sabotage it. You stay. You allow. You receive. And I know there may be a part of you that still whispers, but what if it doesn't come? What if I'm hoping for something that never happens? Just notice that voice. Don't fight it. Don't silence it. Just listen. Because that voice is not trying to harm you. It is trying to protect you from disappointment. It is trying to keep you safe in the only way it knows how. But here is what I want you to gently remind that part of yourself. I am safe to receive, even if it feels unfamiliar. Take a breath. You don't have to believe it fully yet. Just let the words sit inside you. Let them soften something, even if just a little. I am safe to receive. Again, slowly. I am safe to receive. Feel how different that is from chasing. Feel how different that is from trying to force things into place. This is not about effort. This is about allowing. And allowing begins with small moments, small shifts, small openings. So today, I don't want you to change your entire life. I don't want you to fix everything. I simply want you to notice, where can you soften just a little? Where can you release control just a little? Where can you trust just a little more than yesterday? Maybe it's in how you speak to yourself. Maybe it's in how you respond when something doesn't go as planned. Maybe it's in allowing yourself to feel good without questioning it. Because, my dear, sometimes the greatest block to abundance is not the lack of opportunity. It is the discomfort of feeling good. Yes, feeling good. Because if you have spent a long time in survival, in stress, in uncertainty, peace can feel unfamiliar. Ease can feel suspicious. Joy can feel temporary. And so, without realizing it, you return to what is familiar. Not because you want to suffer, but because your system is used to it. So this is where we begin to gently retrain your inner world, not by forcing positivity, but by allowing yourself to stay in moments of ease, just a little longer. When something feels good, don't rush past it. When something works out, don't immediately look for what might go wrong. When you feel calm, don't question it. Just stay. Just breathe. Just allow. And in those moments, something very powerful happens. You begin to teach your body, it is safe to feel good. It is safe to receive. It is safe for things to work out. Take a breath. This is how abundance begins to recognize you. Not through your effort, but through your openness. Not through your struggle, but through your softness. And I want to guide you gently into a few words now, not as something you must force, but as something you can feel. Let them move through you slowly, like a quiet rhythm. I am open, even when I don't see everything yet. I am safe to receive in ways I cannot predict. I allow life to support me, gently, steadily. I do not have to chase. What is meant for me is finding me. Take your time with these. Let them land where they need to land. And if something inside you resists, that's okay. Just notice it and breathe, because even that resistance is part of your unfolding. You are not doing this perfectly. You are not supposed to. You are simply learning, moment by moment, how to become a space where abundance can arrive and stay. And my dear, it is already beginning. Even if you cannot see it yet, even if you cannot fully feel it yet, something is shifting inside you. Something is softening. Something is opening. And as that happens, life begins to respond. Prepare yourself gently now, because what you are about to understand may feel tender, but it will also set you free in a way you didn't expect. Take a slow breath with me, in and out. There are quiet fears hidden beneath the surface that don't shout, that don't announce themselves loudly, but they sit there softly, shaping how much you allow yourself to receive. And my dear, this is not something to be ashamed of. This is something to be understood with compassion. Because sometimes the reason abundance hasn't fully landed in your life is not because it isn't coming, but because a part of you is still unsure if it is safe for it to stay. Just sit with that for a moment. You see, we often think we are afraid of lack, afraid of not having enough. But what if, just quietly, there is also a fear of having, a fear of responsibility, a fear of being seen, a fear of losing it after finally receiving it, a fear that says, what if I can't maintain this? What if I mess it up? What if it disappears again? Take a breath. These fears are not obvious. They don't always come as clear thoughts. They show up as hesitation, as overthinking, as pulling back just when things begin to open, as doubting something that is actually good for you. And if you've ever felt that, even just a little, I want you to know there is nothing wrong with you. You are simply protecting yourself in the only way you were taught. But here is the gentle truth, sweetheart. You are no longer the version of you that had to survive everything alone. You are no longer the version of you that couldn't hold more. You are changing. And as you change, your capacity changes. Take a breath. I want you to imagine something softly again. Imagine you are standing in front of a door, and behind that door is everything you have been asking for. Not in some overwhelming way, but in a calm, steady, supportive way. Now imagine reaching for the handle. Can you feel it? That tiny moment before opening, where something inside you pauses. That pause is where your hidden fears live. Not to stop you, but to ask, are you ready to feel this? And instead of forcing the door open, I want you to do something different. Place your hand on your heart, even if only in your imagination, and say very softly, it's okay, we can receive this slowly. Take a breath. because receiving does not have to be overwhelming. It does not have to happen all at once. It can come in gently, in pieces, in ways that your system can actually hold. You don't have to prove anything. You don't have to rush. You don't have to suddenly become perfect. You only need to stay present and allow. And this is where something very beautiful begins to happen. Instead of pushing abundance away without realizing it, you begin to meet it with calm, with steadiness, with openness. Not because you forced yourself to, but because you feel safe enough to. Take a breath, and now I want to guide you into something very simple, something you can carry with you after this moment. Not a technique, not a rule, just a gentle way of being. Throughout your day, there will be small moments where life offers you something, a kind word, an unexpected opportunity, a moment of peace, a small solution. And instead of brushing past it, or minimizing it, or questioning it, I want you to pause just for a second, longer than usual, and quietly say to yourself, I receive this. That's all. No pressure, no performance, just a soft acknowledgement. I receive this because, my dear, receiving is a practice. And the more you allow yourself to receive small things, the more natural it becomes to receive bigger things. You are not waiting for one big moment that changes everything. You are gently becoming someone who can welcome life moment by moment. Take a breath, and now let these words settle into you, slowly, gently, like a soft rhythm in your body. I am ready in my own time. I am open in my own way. I do not have to rush. What is meant for me is patient. I can receive without fear. I can hold without losing. I trust myself to stay present as life expands for me. Feel each word. Don't just hear them. Let them land. And if your mind wanders, bring it back gently, like you would guide a child with kindness, not force. Because this is not about perfection. This is about familiarity. You are becoming familiar with a new way of being, a way of being that is not rooted in lack or waiting or fear, but in quiet trust. Take a breath, and as we come toward this moment together, I want you to remember something very important. Abundance is not testing you. Life is not withholding from you. There is no invisible force deciding that you are not ready. There is only a natural unfolding, a rhythm, a meeting point between who you are becoming and what is trying to reach you. And that meeting point is getting closer, closer than you think, closer than it has ever been, because you are no longer the same person you were when you first started asking. You are softer, more aware, more open, more able to sit with yourself instead of running from what you feel. And this is what changes everything. So take one last breath with me, slow, gentle, full. And as you exhale, let go of the idea that you have to chase or force or struggle to receive. You don't. You really don't. You only need to stay open, stay present, and allow life to meet you where you are. And my dear, abundance is already on its way, not rushing, not overwhelming, but steady, certain, and ready to stay. So soften, Trust and let it find you.